Emily had never been to the countryside before. The city had always been her home, with its loud noises, crowded streets, and tall buildings that seemed to touch the sky. But this time, she was visiting her aunt's ranch, a place that seemed like a different world entirely. She arrived in the early morning, the air fresh and cool, carrying a faint smell of grass, earth, and animals. The first thing she noticed was the sheer size of the ranch. Rolling fields stretched as far as she could see, dotted with wooden fences and grazing animals. Cows wandered slowly, birds flew overhead, and the distant hills seemed to touch the clouds. Emily stepped out of the car, feeling a mix of excitement and nervousness. She had read about farm life in books and seen it in movies, but nothing prepared her for the reality. Everything seemed so vast, quiet, and yet alive with energy. The sound of hooves and rustling leaves created a rhythm that was both soothing and intimidating. She had always loved animals, especially horses, but she had never ridden one before. The thought made her stomach flutter with both excitement and fear. Her aunt welcomed her warmly and immediately introduced her to the ranch routine. She explained that mornings were for feeding the animals and checking the fields, while afternoons were for chores and sometimes lessons in riding. Emily nodded, trying to absorb all the information, feeling slightly overwhelmed. She had always been used to city life, where things moved fast and opportunities came in bursts. Here, life moved differently. It had a gentle, deliberate pace. Later that morning, Emily decided to explore the ranch on her own. She walked along the dusty paths that wound between the barns and fields. The sun was still low in the sky, casting a golden light over the pasture. In the distance, she noticed a man guiding horses along the field. He moved with a calm authority, his hands steady on the reins as the horses followed his direction without hesitation. Emily stopped for a moment, watching him from afar. There was something about the way he worked with the animals that was mesmerizing. He didn't seem to hurry them or herself, yet everything felt precise and smooth. Curiosity got the better of her. She approached slowly, careful not to startle the horses. As she got closer, she realized the man was tall and muscular, with broad shoulders that suggested years of hard work outdoors. His hair was slightly tousled, and his eyes had a gentle but focused expression. He noticed her and nodded politely, a small smile forming on his lips. "Hi," Emily said softly, unsure if she should speak up. I've never been around horses before. I'd like to try if it's okay." The man paused, studying her for a moment. "First time?" he asked. His voice was calm, warm, and reassuring. Emily nodded, feeling her cheeks flush. "Yes. I've always wanted to ride, but I don't know if I can. I'm nervous." He smiled again, this time a little wider, as if he understood completely. "That's fine. Everyone starts somewhere. We'll take it slow," he said. He introduced himself as Jake, the rancher who managed the property. Emily felt a little relief wash over her. There was something comforting about his presence, something that made the wide-open field feel a little less intimidating. Jake led her toward a stable where a few horses were waiting. The closer they got, the more Emily's nerves returned. The horses were enormous up close. Their hooves clicked against the wooden floor, and their warm breath made Emily step back slightly. "They're beautiful," she whispered. Jake nodded. "They are, and they're gentle if you treat them with care." He pointed to a smaller, calm-looking horse near the gate. "This one is Daisy. She's perfect for beginners. She won't rush you, and she's very patient." Emily reached out her hand slowly, and Daisy sniffed it before nudging her gently. The horse's soft warmth surprised her, and she smiled, feeling a spark of connection. "Be gentle," Emily whispered, almost to herself. "It's too fast." Her heart was racing, and her hands were trembling slightly. Jake noticed her hesitation and knelt beside her, adjusting her posture and showing her how to stand beside Daisy properly. He spoke slowly, explaining every little detail, from how to hold the reins to how to feel the horse's movements through her legs. Emily tried to remember everything, but the excitement and nervousness made it hard. Jake was patient. He didn't rush her or make her feel clumsy. Every step was measured and deliberate. He guided her hands on the reins, corrected her grip gently, and explained the importance of breathing calmly around horses. "They can sense fear," he said softly, "but they also respond to patience and kindness." Emily listened carefully, feeling both nervous and inspired. It was strange to realize that trust could be built not only between people, but also between a person and an animal. As the morning passed, Emily became more comfortable just standing beside Daisy, brushing her coat and feeding her small treats. Jake remained nearby, always ready to step in but never taking over. Emily began to feel a sense of pride. She was learning something new, something she had never imagined she could do. And the more time she spent with Daisy, the more the nervous fluttering in her chest turned into excitement. She also noticed small details about Jake that made her feel at ease. He didn't speak loudly or command the horses harshly. His movements were calm, deliberate, and confident. He had a way of making everything feel manageable, even when Emily felt unsure. She realized that this was what made him different from anyone she had met in the city. There was patience in every action, warmth in every word, and respect in every gesture. By the time noon approached, Emily felt a mix of fatigue and exhilaration. She had never been around animals like this, and yet she felt connected to them in a way she couldn't explain. She looked at Jake and whispered, "Thank you for being gentle with me." He nodded, smiling. "It's easy when someone's willing to learn. And when you take your time, it becomes a lot of fun." Emily left the stable that morning with a new sense of confidence. She had faced her fear and taken her first steps into a world completely different from the city. The ranch, the animals, and Jake's calm guidance had opened a door to something she didn't even know she wanted. For the first time in a long while, Emily felt a sense of peace and excitement coexisting inside her, a feeling that would stay with her as she continued her journey at the ranch. As she walked back toward her aunt's house, the sun high in the sky now, Emily couldn't help but glance back at the field. Daisy nuzzled Jake's shoulder, and he laughed softly, a sound that seemed to fit perfectly in the quiet, warm world around them. Emily knew that this day, with all its nervousness, laughter, and small victories, would remain in her heart forever, and she couldn't wait to see what would happen next. Emily woke up the next morning feeling a mix of excitement and nervous anticipation. The events of the previous day still lingered in her mind, the gentle warmth of Daisy, the vastness of the fields, and Jake's calm, patient guidance. Today, she would take her first real step toward riding. Her stomach fluttered at the thought, but she also felt a small spark of courage growing inside her. The morning air was crisp and fresh, carrying the familiar scent of hay, earth, and the gentle, musky smell of the animals. Birds chirped cheerfully, and the distant hills glowed with golden light as the sun began its slow climb. Emily dressed carefully, making sure her boots were secure and her hair tied back neatly. She had learned that small details mattered on the ranch, and she wanted to be prepared. When she reached the stables, Jake was already there, checking on the horses and ensuring that everything was in order. He noticed her approach and gave a friendly nod. "Good morning, Emily. Ready for today?" he asked. His voice was calm, reassuring, and carried a quiet confidence that immediately eased some of her nerves. Emily took a deep breath and nodded. "Yes, I think I am," she said, though the words trembled slightly. Jake smiled and handed her a brush. "Before we ride, it's important to bond with your horse. Brush her gently, speak softly, and let her know you're here. Horses can feel your mood." Emily bent down, stroking Daisy's neck softly, feeling the warm, silky coat under her fingers. Daisy's gentle eyes met hers, and she felt a strange sense of comfort. Jake knelt beside her, guiding her hands and showing her how to move with the horse. "Be patient. Don't rush. She'll respond to calmness," he said. Emily nodded, trying to absorb every word. As she brushed Daisy, she noticed how the horse's muscles shifted under her hands, strong yet soft. There was a rhythm to everything: the horse's breathing, the brush against her coat, the soft clopping of hooves. It was a rhythm Emily felt in her own heartbeat, slowly syncing with the calm energy around her. After brushing, Jake showed Emily how to check the saddle and adjust the straps. "It's not just about putting it on," he explained. "You need to make sure it fits well, that it won't slip, and that Daisy is comfortable. If she's comfortable, she'll trust you." Emily carefully followed his instructions, feeling a mixture of concentration and pride. She realized that riding wasn't just about sitting on a horse. It was about understanding and respecting her companion. Finally, the moment came to mount Daisy. Emily's hands shook slightly as she held the reins, glancing up at Jake. "Take it slow. Feel the steps. Don't worry about speed," he said softly. Emily nodded, taking a deep breath. With Jake's steady hand supporting her, she swung her leg over Daisy and settled carefully onto the saddle. The horse shifted slightly under her weight, and Emily felt a small surge of fear. "Easy. Breathe," Jake whispered. "She won't go anywhere too fast. Trust her and trust yourself." Emily focused on the words, letting them sink in. She felt Daisy's warmth beneath her, steady and reassuring. For a moment, the world around her seemed to disappear. The fields, the birds, the distant hills. All that mattered was the connection between her and the horse, and the calm presence of Jake walking beside her. They started with a gentle walk. Emily's legs were stiff, and she had to concentrate on keeping her balance. Every tiny movement of Daisy sent a ripple through the saddle, and Emily learned to adjust with it. Jake's voice was always nearby, giving small, careful instructions. "Relax your shoulders. Let the reins be soft. Feel her steps through your legs." Emily listened intently, following his guidance, slowly gaining confidence. The walk soon turned into a slow trot. Emily's heart jumped at first. The horse's rhythm was faster, but not frightening. Jake stayed close, matching her pace, his calm presence a steady anchor. Emily laughed nervously, feeling the wind on her face and the movement beneath her. She realized that riding was not about control alone. It was about harmony, about listening and responding. Daisy moved as if she understood, matching Emily's growing confidence. Emily's initial fear began to melt away, replaced by a sense of exhilaration. She noticed the details around her, the sun sparkling on the grass, the soft sound of the breeze through the trees, and the way Daisy's ears twitched at every sound. Jake occasionally adjusted her reins gently, guiding her without ever taking over. Emily felt a deep appreciation for his patience. He was not just teaching her to ride, he was teaching her to trust herself and the horse. As they continued, Emily's confidence grew. She laughed freely now, enjoying the freedom of being atop Daisy and feeling the rhythm of the horse beneath her. She felt lighter, as if the weight of fear and uncertainty had lifted. Jake's calm instructions were like a safety net, giving her the courage to try new movements, to shift her balance, and to respond naturally to Daisy's steps. During a brief rest under the shade of an old oak tree, Emily and Jake spoke quietly. "You're doing really well," Jake said. "Most beginners are tense, but you're learning to move with her instead of against her. That's important." Emily smiled, feeling a warmth in her chest. "It's because you're patient. You don't rush me," she said. Jake shrugged modestly, but Emily could see the quiet pride in his eyes. It wasn't just about teaching. It was about care, understanding, and kindness. After the break, They continued across the open field, taking in the vastness of the ranch. Emily felt a sense of freedom she had never experienced before. The fields stretched endlessly, golden in the sunlight, and the gentle hills created a perfect horizon. Birds flew overhead, and the soft sounds of nature surrounded her. Emily realized that the connection she was feeling wasn't just with Daisy, it was with the entire rhythm of life around her, guided by Jake's calm and careful instructions. By the end of the morning, Emily was riding with confidence. She could feel Daisy's movements and respond naturally, guided by instinct and training. She had learned to trust herself, the horse, and Jake's guidance. The fear that had gripped her at the start had transformed into excitement, joy, and a sense of accomplishment. When they returned to the stable, Emily slid off Daisy with a proud smile. "Thank you," she said softly, brushing the horse's mane gently. Jake nodded, smiling warmly. "You did really well. Remember, riding is not just about speed or skill, it's about patience, trust, and understanding." Emily felt a deep sense of gratitude. Today had been more than a lesson in riding. It had been a lesson in courage, patience, and kindness. As Emily walked back toward her aunt's house, she felt different from the girl who had arrived the day before. She was braver, more confident, and filled with a sense of accomplishment. She realized that life, like riding, was about moving at the right pace, trusting those who guide you, and learning to trust yourself. The morning's experiences had left a warm feeling in her heart, one that she knew would stay with her long after the ranch disappeared behind her. The day had also given Emily something unexpected, a sense of connection, not just with Daisy, but with Jake, the calm and patient rancher who had guided her with care. She understood now that kindness, patience, and gentle guidance could make even the most intimidating experiences feel safe, exciting, and rewarding. And as Emily looked back one last time at the field, she saw Jake laughing softly as Daisy nuzzled him. She smiled, feeling a warmth that went beyond the sun or the soft breeze. It was the warmth of trust, patience, and connection, a feeling she would carry with her forever. The next morning, Emily felt a mix of excitement and nervousness as she prepared for her next lesson with Jake. Yesterday had been incredible. She had learned to bond with Daisy, ride at a gentle walk, and even experience the thrill of a slow trot. But today, she knew they would attempt something a little more challenging, riding across the open fields at a steady pace, and learning to feel the rhythm of the horse fully. The sun was just beginning to rise, painting the sky in soft shades of pink and gold. The cool air carried the earthy scent of the ranch, a mix of hay, grass, and the soft warmth of the animals waking up. Emily dressed carefully, making sure her boots were snug, her helmet secured, and her hair tucked safely away. She felt a nervous flutter in her chest, but also a sense of anticipation she couldn't ignore. When she reached the stable, Jake was already waiting. His calm presence was reassuring, like a steady anchor in a sea of nervous energy. "Good morning, Emily," he said with a smile. "Today we'll focus on controlling the pace and feeling Daisy's movements. Are you ready?" Emily nodded, trying to steady her breath. "Yes, I think so," she replied, her voice slightly shaky but full of determination. Jake led her to Daisy, who greeted Emily with a soft nuzzle. Emily reached out and stroked the horse's neck gently, feeling the familiar warmth under her hands. "Good morning, Daisy," she whispered. Daisy snorted softly, as if acknowledging her greeting. Jake adjusted the saddle and checked the reins, showing Emily how to hold them lightly yet securely. "Remember, it's about connection, not control. Feel her movements through your legs and guide her gently with your hands," he instructed. Emily took a deep breath, swinging her leg over Daisy and settling into the saddle. The familiar warmth beneath her and the soft nicker from the horse gave her a small surge of confidence. Jake stayed close, holding Daisy's bridle until Emily felt balanced. "Take your time. There's no rush," he said softly. Emily focused on her breathing, trying to calm the nervous flutter in her chest. They started with a gentle walk, moving slowly along the edge of the pasture. Emily felt Daisy's steps beneath her, each one steady and reassuring. Jake walked beside her, giving small, careful instructions. "Relax your shoulders. Let your hands follow her movements. Feel each step through your legs," he said. Emily listened intently, adjusting her posture and letting the rhythm guide her. After a few minutes, Jake suggested they try a slow trot again. Emily felt her heart leap at the thought, a mixture of fear and excitement running through her. She nodded, gripping the reins lightly. Jake stayed close, running a hand along Daisy's neck to keep her calm. "Just feel her steps. Don't worry about speed," he reminded her. Emily focused, letting the gentle bounce of the horse guide her movements. At first, it was wobbly, and she had to concentrate hard to maintain balance. But slowly, she began to find the rhythm, swaying naturally with Daisy's trot. Emily laughed nervously, the sound carried away by the morning breeze. She felt a thrill she had never experienced before. The wind brushed her face, and the wide open field stretched endlessly in front of her. She felt free, alive, and strangely connected to the horse beneath her. Jake walked beside her, adjusting her posture and guiding her hands, but never taking control. His patience made her feel safe, and for the first time, Emily realized she could trust both herself and the horse. As they moved further into the pasture, Jake encouraged her to look around and enjoy the scenery. Emily's eyes widened at the beauty surrounding her, the golden grass swaying gently, the distant hills bathed in sunlight, and the soft sounds of birds singing in the trees. It was peaceful, yet exhilarating at the same time. She realized that riding was not just about movement, it was about feeling, noticing, and being fully present. Midway through the ride, Emily felt Daisy respond to her subtle cues. A slight shift in her weight, a gentle nudge with her legs, and Daisy adjusted her pace perfectly. Emily's heart swelled with pride. She had never imagined she could guide a horse so naturally, even with Jake's careful instructions. She glanced at him, and he nodded encouragingly. "You're doing wonderfully. See how she responds to your touch and rhythm? That's the connection I told you about," he said. Emily smiled, feeling a warm sense of accomplishment. Encouraged, Emily tried a slightly faster trot, feeling the rhythm of Daisy's steps more confidently. She laughed again, a sound of pure joy as the wind rushed past her. Daisy responded beautifully, her movements smooth and steady. Jake's presence was always close, his watchful eyes ensuring her safety, but he let her experience the thrill without fear. Emily realized that trust was growing, not just between her and Daisy, but between her and Jake as well. They paused near a small hill to rest, letting Daisy graze on the fresh grass. Emily slid down gently, patting her horse and brushing her mane. Jake joined her, smiling. "You handled that very well," he said. Emily felt her cheeks flush with pride. "It's because you've been so patient with me. You never rushed me, and it makes all the difference," she replied. Jake's eyes softened, showing quiet pride. "Patience and kindness go a long way, Emily, with horses and in life," he said gently. After a short break, they continued their ride, exploring a new part of the ranch. Emily felt more confident now, moving with Daisy at a comfortable pace. She experimented with slight changes in speed, learning to communicate through small movements rather than force. Daisy responded beautifully each time, and Emily felt a deep sense of harmony. She realized that the experience was more than riding. It was about listening, observing, and connecting. As they rode, Emily noticed details she hadn't before. The texture of the grass beneath Daisy's hooves, the sound of leaves rustling in the wind, and the faint aroma of wildflowers growing along the fence line. Each step felt like a small victory, and each movement of Daisy felt like a conversation. Emily's heart swelled with joy and gratitude. She had faced her fear, embraced the unknown, and found beauty in the simple, quiet rhythm of ranch life. Jake encouraged her to try guiding Daisy around small obstacles, a fallen log, a narrow path, and gentle turns. Emily concentrated, feeling the horse respond to her subtle cues. She was amazed at how connected she felt to Daisy, and how natural it seemed once she learned to trust herself. Jake stayed close, offering guidance only when needed, his patience and calm presence making her feel safe. By the end of the ride, Emily was beaming. She had not only ridden with confidence, but also experienced a bond with Daisy she had never imagined possible. Her arms ached slightly from holding the reins, and her legs felt tired from balancing, but her heart was light. She had conquered fear and found joy in something entirely new. As they returned to the stable, Emily gently guided Daisy back and patted her warmly. "Thank you, girl," she whispered, feeling a deep sense of connection. Jake nodded approvingly, smiling. "You did amazing today. You learned not just to ride, but to feel, to listen, and to trust. That's far more important than speed or skill," he said. Emily's heart warmed. It wasn't just a lesson about horses. It was a lesson about life, patience, and self-confidence. Emily realized something important that day. Fear often comes from rushing or trying too hard. But with patience, guidance, and a willingness to learn, even the most daunting experiences could become joyful and rewarding. Daisy had taught her rhythm, balance, and connection. Jake had taught her patience, trust, and understanding. And Emily had discovered courage she didn't know she possessed. When they finished, Emily walked back to her aunt's house, the sun shining warmly on her face. She couldn't stop smiling, replaying the morning's experiences in her mind. Every trot, every gentle nudge, every laugh felt vivid and alive. She knew that this ride was more than just a lesson. It was a memory she would carry with her forever, a moment of triumph and connection she would never forget. And as she glanced back at the field one last time, she saw Jake watching Daisy graze, his calm presence blending perfectly with the peaceful landscape. Emily felt a sense of gratitude and warmth in her heart. Today had been a journey, not just across the pasture, but within herself, a journey of courage, patience, and joy. The morning sun rose slowly over the ranch, casting a warm golden glow across the fields. Emily woke with a flutter of excitement. Each day at the ranch felt like an adventure, and today she sensed it would be something special. Yesterday she had learned to feel the rhythm of Daisy's steps and ride with confidence. Today, Jake had promised to teach her a new skill, trotting across the wider fields and learning to adjust her movements more independently. Emily's heart raced with anticipation. As she walked toward the stables, Emily could see Jake already there, checking the fences and feeding the horses. He looked up and smiled when he saw her approaching. "Good morning, Emily. Ready for a bigger adventure today?" he asked, his voice calm and reassuring. Emily nodded eagerly, though a trace of nervousness lingered. "I'm ready," she said, gripping her hands together. Jake's warm smile encouraged her. "Good. Today we'll practice trotting for longer distances and learning to guide Daisy more on your own. Don't worry, we'll take it slow." Emily's nerves eased slightly as she approached Daisy, who greeted her with a soft nuzzle. She stroked the horse's neck gently, feeling the familiar warmth and comfort beneath her hands. "Good morning, girl," she whispered. Daisy responded with a gentle snort, and Emily felt her confidence grow. Jake adjusted the saddle and reins carefully, checking that everything was secure. "Remember," he said softly, "today is about confidence and connection. Listen to Daisy, follow her rhythm, and don't rush yourself." Emily swung her leg over Daisy and settled into the saddle, feeling the horse's familiar warmth beneath her. Jake stayed close at first, guiding her balance. But he knew she was ready to take more control. "Take your time," he said. "Feel each step, adjust your posture, and guide her gently. I'll be right here if you need me." Emily nodded, taking a deep breath to calm her nerves. They began with a gentle walk around the pasture, allowing Emily to warm up. She felt the soft rhythm of Daisy's steps beneath her, matching her own movements to the horse's gentle sway. Jake's calm instructions helped her stay focused. "Relax your shoulders. Keep the reins soft. Let her steps guide you," he said. Emily listened carefully, feeling more in tune with Daisy than ever before. She realized that riding was not just about sitting on the horse. It was about feeling, observing, and connecting. After a few minutes, Jake suggested they try a longer trot across the open field. Emily's heart skipped a beat. Trotting for a long distance seemed daunting, but she trusted Jake's guidance. "Just feel her steps. Don't worry about speed. Take it slow," he encouraged. Emily adjusted her posture, gripping the reins lightly and letting Daisy respond naturally. At first, her movements were stiff, and she struggled to keep balance, but Daisy moved smoothly beneath her, adjusting with every subtle shift in Emily's weight. As they trotted across the golden field, Emily began to laugh with pure joy. The wind brushed her face, and the freedom of the open space made her feel alive. She focused on Daisy's movements, letting the rhythm guide her, and gradually, she found her balance. Jake walked beside her, giving small adjustments when necessary, but mostly allowing her to experience the ride independently. Emily realized that trust, both in Daisy and in Jake's guidance, was what made her feel confident. Midway through the field, Emily felt Daisy respond beautifully to her subtle cues. A gentle shift of her weight, a soft squeeze with her legs, and Daisy adjusted her pace perfectly. Emily's heart swelled with pride. She glanced at Jake, who nodded with a quiet, encouraging smile. "See how she listens to you? That's the connection I talked about," he said. Emily felt a warmth in her chest, a mixture of joy, pride, and gratitude. Encouraged by Daisy's responsiveness, Emily tried a slightly faster trot, her laughter ringing out across the fields. Daisy responded smoothly, maintaining a steady pace. Emily felt a thrill she had never experienced before. She realized that the experience was not just about riding, it was about connection, patience, and understanding. Every movement felt like a conversation between her and Daisy, and every step filled her with confidence. Jake encouraged her to explore small obstacles along the way, a narrow path between two fences, a shallow ditch, and gentle turns around trees. Emily concentrated, guiding Daisy carefully. Each successful maneuver made her heart race with excitement. She felt a sense of accomplishment and independence that she had never known before. Jake's presence was always nearby, but he allowed her space to experiment and learn. Emily understood that this was the key to growth. Not rushing, not forcing, but gently guiding and learning through experience. As they rode further, Emily noticed details she had never paid attention to before. The soft rustle of leaves in the breeze, the golden sunlight reflecting off Daisy's coat, and the distant mountains painted in shades of purple and blue. Each step, each movement, and each glance made her feel more connected to the ranch, to the horse, and to the moment. She realized that this experience was more than riding. It was about being present, noticing the world, and appreciating the simple beauty around her. They paused under the shade of a large oak tree to rest. Emily slid off Daisy carefully and patted her mane gently. "Thank you, girl," she whispered, feeling a sense of warmth and connection. Jake joined her, smiling proudly. You're doing wonderfully. You've grown so much in just a few days, he said. Emily felt her cheeks flush with pride. It's because you've been so patient with me. You've never rushed me, she replied softly. Jake's eyes softened. Patience and kindness make all the difference, Emily. With horses and in life, he said. After a short break, Emily and Jake continued their ride, exploring a new part of the ranch. Emily felt more confident now, moving with Daisy at a comfortable pace. She experimented with changes in speed, guiding Daisy gently with subtle movements. Each success made her heart soar. She realized that courage was not about fearlessness. It was about facing challenges slowly, trusting guidance, and believing in yourself. As they reached a small hill, Emily felt Daisy respond instinctively to her movements. The climb was gentle but required careful balance. Emily focused, adjusting her posture and letting her legs guide Daisy. When they reached the top, she looked out at the breathtaking view. The rolling fields stretching endlessly, the sun shimmering on the grass, and the peaceful ranch spread below them. Emily felt a deep sense of accomplishment and gratitude. She had faced her fears and discovered new strength within herself. Jake watched her, smiling quietly. "Beautiful view, isn't it?" he said. Emily nodded, feeling her heart warm. "It is, and it feels even better because we did it together," she said softly. Jake's smile widened, not with pride in himself, but with quiet approval for Emily's growth. "Exactly. That's the reward of patience, trust, and effort," he replied. As they descended the hill and returned to the stables, Emily felt an overwhelming sense of joy. Today had been more than a lesson in riding. It had been a journey of self-discovery, connection, and courage. She had learned to trust herself, Daisy and Jake's guidance. She had faced challenges, embraced the unknown, and discovered strength she never knew she had. Back at the stables, Emily gently guided Daisy to the trough and patted her warmly. "Thank you for today," she whispered, feeling the bond between them grow stronger with each passing moment. Jake adjusted the saddle and reins, smiling proudly. "You did amazing today, Emily. Remember, it's not just about skill, it's about patience, trust, and understanding. That's what makes a great rider," he said. Emily's heart filled with gratitude. She realized that this lesson extended beyond horses. It was about life itself. As Emily walked back toward her aunt's house, the sun high in the sky, she reflected on the morning's experiences. Every trot, every gentle nudge, every laugh, and every moment of trust felt vivid in her mind. She knew that these experiences would stay with her forever, not just as memories of riding, but as lessons in patience, courage, and kindness. Emily glanced back one last time at the open field, seeing Jake watching Daisy graze peacefully. She felt a warmth in her heart, a mix of pride, gratitude, and joy. Today had shown her that courage was built through patience, trust, and connection, and that even the simplest experiences could leave the deepest impressions. And as Emily continued toward the house, she felt a quiet sense of accomplishment, knowing that she had not only learned to ride a horse but had also grown stronger, braver, and more confident in herself. She realized that these lessons, gentle yet profound, would stay with her forever, shaping the way she approached challenges, trust, and life itself. The morning sunlight spilled across the ranch in soft golden streaks, warming the fields and casting long shadows over the fences. Emily woke with a flutter of excitement and a little nervousness in her chest. Today was the last riding lesson she would have on this visit, and though she had grown confident in the past days, a small part of her worried about what she might be asked to do. She wanted to prove to herself that she could do everything she had learned so far, and maybe even a little more. As Emily walked to the stables, She saw Jake already tending to the horses. He looked up, his calm eyes meeting hers, and gave a friendly smile. "Good morning, Emily. Today we'll focus on everything you've learned and try to ride across the main field by yourself for longer stretches," he said. His tone was gentle, never rushing her. Emily felt her stomach flutter at the thought of riding alone, but Jake's presence nearby gave her courage. "I think I can do it," she replied softly, taking a deep breath. Daisy nickered softly as Emily approached, greeting her with the familiar warmth of her soft nuzzle. Emily stroked Daisy's neck gently, feeling a comforting connection with the horse. "Good morning, girl," she whispered. Daisy responded as if she understood Emily's nervous excitement, and Emily felt a wave of reassurance. Jake checked the saddle and reins one more time. "Remember, Emily, it's all about patience, trust, and confidence. Take your time, feel each step, and let Daisy guide you as well," he said. Emily swung her leg over Daisy and settled into the saddle. The horse shifted slightly beneath her, and Emily felt the familiar warmth and strength beneath her legs. Jake stayed close at first, holding Daisy steady until Emily found her balance. "You're ready," he said softly. "I'll be right here if you need me, but you've got this." Emily nodded, her heartbeat quickening, but a sense of determination took over the nervousness. They started with a slow walk across the field, allowing Emily to warm up. She focused on Daisy's movements, syncing her posture and breathing with the horse's rhythm. Jake's calm guidance helped her stay focused and relaxed. "Keep your hands soft on the reins. Listen to her steps. Let her feel your confidence," he said. Emily followed his instructions carefully, feeling a growing sense of mastery over her nerves and the horse's movements. After a few minutes, Jake encouraged Emily to trot across the field. Her heart leapt at the thought, but she trusted him and Daisy. "Remember, just feel her steps and move with her," he said. Emily gripped the reins lightly, letting Daisy guide her naturally. At first, she wobbled slightly, unsure of her balance, but soon she found the rhythm and began to feel the thrill of moving freely across the wide-open field. The wind brushed against her face, carrying the fresh, earthy scent of the ranch. Emily laughed with pure joy, feeling alive in a way she never had in the city. Every trot, every bounce, every gentle nudge of Daisy beneath her felt like a small victory. Jake stayed nearby, giving guidance only when necessary, letting Emily experience the ride more independently than ever before. Emily felt a sense of pride she had never known, pride in herself, in Daisy, and in the journey she had taken to get here. As they reached the middle of the field, Jake encouraged Emily to try a slightly faster pace. Her heart raced with excitement and fear. Could she do it? She shifted her weight gently, letting Daisy respond to her subtle movements. To her delight, Daisy trotted smoothly and evenly, perfectly following her guidance. Emily's laughter rang across the field as she felt an exhilarating sense of freedom. She realized she could trust herself, Daisy, and the lessons Jake had patiently taught her. After a few minutes at the faster pace, they slowed back to a gentle walk, allowing Daisy to rest. Emily patted her horse, feeling the warmth of her coat and the steady heartbeat beneath her hands. "Thank you, Daisy," she whispered. The horse responded with a soft nuzzle, as if acknowledging the gratitude. Emily felt a wave of happiness. She had not only learned to ride, but had also developed a deep connection with Daisy, one built on trust, patience, and gentle guidance. Jake suggested they try some small obstacles next, a narrow path between fences, a shallow ditch, and gentle turns around trees. Emily focused carefully, guiding Daisy with soft movements and subtle cues. Each successful maneuver filled her with pride and confidence. She realized that courage was not about being fearless. It was about facing challenges, trusting herself, and learning from the experience. Jake watched silently, stepping in only when necessary, giving Emily the freedom to grow while still offering support. As they rode further into the field, Emily felt more connected to the ranch, to Daisy, and to the rhythm of life around her. She noticed every detail: the soft rustle of the leaves in the breeze, the shimmering sunlight on the grass, the distant mountains painted in gentle shades of blue and purple. Each moment was alive and vibrant, and Emily felt herself growing braver, stronger, and more confident. She realized that these lessons went beyond riding. They were lessons in patience, trust, connection, and self-belief. When they reached a gentle hill, Jake encouraged Emily to guide Daisy up slowly. The climb required balance and careful posture, but Emily followed the rhythm she had learned over the past days. At the top of the hill, she looked out across the breathtaking view: the endless fields, the distant mountains, and the golden sunlight reflecting on Daisy's coat. A wave of pride and joy washed over her. She had faced her fears, embraced challenges, and discovered strength she never knew she had. Jake smiled quietly at her achievement. "Beautiful view, isn't it?" he asked. Emily nodded, feeling her heart swell. "It's amazing, and I feel so proud I did it myself," she said softly. Jake's eyes reflected quiet approval, pride not in himself, but in Emily's growth. "Exactly," he said gently. "That's the reward of patience, trust, and confidence. And now you've earned the right to ride even more freely." Encouraged, Emily guided Daisy down the hill and across the main field. She experimented with adjusting the pace, guiding the horse gently and independently. Daisy responded beautifully, moving smoothly and confidently beneath her. Emily laughed with delight, feeling a sense of freedom and joy unlike anything she had ever experienced. Every movement, every adjustment, every step was a conversation between her and Daisy, a conversation built on trust, understanding, and care. As they returned toward the stables, Emily felt a wave of gratitude and warmth. Today had been more than a riding lesson. It had been a journey of self-discovery. She had learned to trust herself, to trust Daisy, and to embrace the guidance of someone patient and kind. The nervous, unsure girl who had arrived at the ranch just days ago had grown into someone confident, brave, and joyful. Back at the stable, Emily gently guided Daisy to the trough and brushed her mane, feeling the warmth and softness beneath her hands. "Thank you, Daisy. You've taught me so much," she whispered. Jake watched, smiling warmly. "You did amazing today, Emily, not because of speed or skill, but because of patience, trust, and connection. That's what makes a great rider," he said. Emily's heart swelled with gratitude and pride. She realized that this lesson went far beyond riding. It was about life itself. As she walked back to her aunt's house, Emily reflected on the past few days. Each moment, each lesson, and each gentle guide had left an impression on her heart. She had faced fear, learned patience, embraced trust, and discovered courage she never knew she possessed. The experiences with Daisy and Jake had changed her, teaching her the value of calm guidance, empathy, and self-belief. Before she left the field, Emily glanced back one last time. She saw Jake standing near Daisy, who nuzzled his shoulder gently. Emily smiled, feeling warmth and gratitude fill her heart. Today had been the culmination of all her learning, all her small victories, and all the gentle moments that had made her feel safe and inspired. She knew she would carry these memories with her forever, not just as lessons in riding, but as lessons in courage, patience, and trust. As Emily stepped onto the path leading back to her aunt's house, she felt lighter, braver, and more confident than ever before. The ranch had become a place of growth, discovery, and joy, and in her heart, she knew that the lessons she had learned of patience, kindness, and gentle guidance would remain with her for a lifetime. The day had started with nervous anticipation, but it ended with triumph, joy, and a deep sense of connection. Emily realized that she had not only learned to ride a horse, but had also learned to trust herself, to embrace patience, and to recognize the power of gentle guidance. And as the sun dipped lower in the sky, casting a warm glow over the fields, Emily knew she would always remember the ranch, Daisy, and the kind rancher who had taught her that courage is built one gentle step at a time.